Hi, and welcome back. We're going to go ahead and utilize the grapes that we harvested. We've got about 2 cups of those, and we're going to go ahead and make some jam that somebody wants. So let's get started. We are going to need to do a little bit of math here because the jam recipe that we have for grapes is 8 cups of grapes. We don't have that much. So we're going to go ahead and put everything in a blender. You don't have to separate the greens out. Trust me, adds a little bit of tartness to it. For the most part, they're all frozen. And mostly right now. Once you do that, because they're frozen, we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of water just to be able to get it started. Water. And 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Thank you. Okay, we're going to blend it until it's somewhat smooth. And you want to stop, you want to get a scraper and scrape those down. Try to get as much of the skins torn apart as possible, because you don't want chunky jam, you just want jam. Notice we're not juicing the grapes. We're leaving the skins on. The skins do have nutritional value. They have good yeasts on them. Even though those yeasts will die with the heat, they're still good for you. And whenever you think that's done, go ahead and stop. Think that's good enough?
1 more.
1 more? Okay. Remember, this is your jam. Perfect. Now this is actually a crucial step. You want to measure how much of this that you have, because like I said, we're going to need to do some math on this. It's for every 8 cups of fruit, you need 4 cups of sugar and 6 tablespoons of pectin. So we need to get an exact measurement of how much liquid we have, so we can go ahead and add the appropriate amount of sugar and pectin. And into the pot. All I remember we ate about that much off of the grapes whenever we were picking it. So it looks about 1 3/4. Let's go ahead and add about the rest of that with water to be able to get it up to 2 cups. If you have grape juice, you can use that as well. Welch's works real well. Okay, so while we are heating this up, we're going to calculate and measure out our sugar and pectin. So we're making 1/4 of a batch of grape jam. So we're going to need 1 cup of sugar. Now, since we are making 1/4 of a batch, how much pectin do we need if we need 6 tablespoons for 1 batch?
Four-fifths of a tablespoon. We're making 1/8?
No, we're making 1/4.
1/4.
No, 2. Yeah, 8 cups of juice down to 2 cups of juice. So that's 1/4.
1/4?
Okay, so 1.5 tablespoons. So while he does that, I'm going to go ahead and measure out the rest of the ingredients. Sugar always goes in last. You're going to want this. There you go. Now let's go ahead and add the pectin. While it's warming up, you don't want it to come to a boil just yet. Okay, and make sure it doesn't get lumpy.
Ready for the sugar?
No, it needs to boil first.
Okay.
So you can bring it up a little bit. Up. Up. There you go. No, I haven't heard anything about the family reunion because it was canceled. It was rescheduled, but I haven't gotten any word on when it's going to be rescheduled. So it may actually be canceled this year because of the rain. Which sucks because I was going to put one of my skull jars in for the auction.
Yes.
You know those yogurt cups that you get in the store, the ooey? I think they're called ooey. You keep the jar. I found the company that actually makes these jars, and I was able to get the lids and the seals and the clamps. So we're going to use those today.
A 1 minute boil?
Yeah, 1 minute boil. That way that the pectin can start cooking it on its own. Because it takes a little bit of time for the pectin to set. Alright, so now you want to add the sugar, and then you want to stir it in, bring it back up to a boil, and then the 1 minute starts from whenever it starts bubbling, and whenever you're stirring it, you cannot stir down the bubbles. Got it? Right now we're at a soft boil. Okay. If we do this, see, now we're at a hard boil. We are not able to bring down the bubbles. All right. And going like this, it's not going to disperse the heat evenly. Just let you know, okay?
I'm just making sure nothing's stuck on the bottom and stuck to the sides.
I know. This is kind of like candy making. There's a specific way that it needs to be done. Because right now we're bringing it up to temperature. With this hard boil, it has to come up to like, what is it, 230 or something like that. The sugar helps it come up to that temperature.
Okay.
You good? Okay, so bring that down, but not off. Okay, we need to test this. I'm going to show you how to test this to see if it needs any more jelly, or some of the more if it needs more pectin. Okay, we can taste it to see if it needs any more sugar. We need to see if it needs more pectin. Now this is a kind of a good sign that it's kind of staying like that. Okay, but let's go ahead and see if this is a good jam. I got a bowl of water here. Add a drop. Not quite yet. Let's keep on having it boil. It's still quite soft. We may need to add more pectin because of the sugar content of the grapes. It may need twice as much. I had to do that with the watermelon. It needed twice as much pectin as called for. Let's go ahead and bring that back up. Stir, stir, stir. And stir, stir, stir. Some fruits just need more. It's coming back up to a boil. Don't worry about the foam. Foam is my favorite part. I'm going to add some ice to this.
So what are we looking for with the jam in the ice water?
Okay, jam in the ice water, you want to see it kind of bunch up and not disperse so much. Okay. Let's see if this will do it. Almost. See how it's...
The solids fell down, but the liquid stayed in one bunch.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Also, if you go like this, blow it a little bit, let it cool off, and it doesn't come off the spoon easily. That's also another indication. So we're really, really close. Use your finger. You can see the finger. See the jelly. Another couple minutes.
I'll say one spot.
Yeah. So if you also put this in the freezer for a minute, that's also another indication. Get it all the way cool, so that way you can see how done it is. There's a couple of different methods of seeing if jam is done. Okay, I have made it to where I have very, very runny jam, which is very disappointing because I followed a recipe that did not work well. Okay, I had to reprocess it all in order to be able to get some sort of solid something. Alright, so this was in the freezer for about 30 seconds. Go ahead and put your finger on that. I want you to taste it, see if it's sweet enough.
Yes.
Okay. Now, right now it's at a soft jam.
Okay.
So, if you want to boil it for another minute or two, make it a little bit harder, you can.
Okay.
Or if you want to, you can go ahead and make this like a nice soft spread. Sometimes a recipe just does not work, especially if you find it on the internet. A lot of recipes do work, but then you have to adapt. Because these days, all pectins are not equal anymore. They're not our mom's pectins. They don't do what they're supposed to do. They're very weak.
And also it may have been developed in an area where the fruit had more sugar, or it had more pulp, or it was a different type of fruit.
Exactly. So there's a whole bunch of factors
Without doing chemical analysis of your fruit, you have to experiment to make it come back correct.
Yes.
So the recipes are a guideline, not an absolute.
So long as you understand the basic recipe and the chemistry behind the recipe, you can do whatever you want with it. And we're going to fill them up all the way to this line right here. Okay, these are also marked just like the American ones. There's a lip here, and then there's a little line right here, right underneath it. That's the fill line for this. All right, ladle. Here, well, you can use that one. Do you think you can pour it without spilling?
Probably not, but do it anyway.
These barely fit, don't they? You need a... scraper. Three was perfect. Oh yeah. That's going to be thick enough. See how the drops on here are just sitting there? It's thick enough. And there we have 2.5. Wipe down your tops. Now with these, I'll do one, you do two. You grab these. There is a kind of ledge like that. Put them on top. Grab 2 clamps and just clamp it down. According to the website, you can water bath these. Do not recommend pressure canning at all with these because of the way the lids are. Now I'm going to stick these straight into the fridge because we have people we're going to give these away to. But you can water bath these and put them on a shelf to be shelf stable so long as the pH is above 4.8. Okay, so how was that?
It was very interesting, very simple. I'm glad I learned how to do this. And I think you will too.
Yeah. So jam is meant to be simple. It's not. It's a time tradition. It's lasted centuries to be able to help preserve your fruit for the winter time, and it's tasty. And for all the kids way back when, going into mom's cupboard and stealing a jar. I didn't do that, did I? No, especially apricots. Apricots are my favorite. Right? You good?
Good.
All right. Well, thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time.